Peter Franklin is the Gabby Cabby live from New York City. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, good morning.
Hey, I thought of you when the big story came down that the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circus was closing for good, because you once worked for the circus, right?
Well, no, I do. Well, we do. We've done it through the years. What happens when the circus goes to different towns and cities? They have people there that are, let's say, part-timers. They supplement the normal staff, and you kind of are accredited. I guess someplace, somewhere, in some federal depository, there's a list that Peter and Lelina Franklin are clowns.
Yeah.
And I guess we are clowns.
We're clowns.
Proves it. See, can you prove you're a clown? I can prove I'm a clown.
I don't think I can prove it the way you can, but
so
yeah.
I'm unemployed.
Yeah.
I'm unemployed. We're unemployed because of crap, and I'm telling you, it's crap. You know, I don't hold punches back or anything like that. It is an absolutely blatant lie that the circus mistreats its animals. Now, there may have been some financial mismanagement, and maybe the times changed and everything, but the thing that the animals, especially the elephants, are mistreated is just a bunch of baloney. I mean, do you seriously believe for a minute I would have any connection to an organization that mistreated animals?
Right.
I mean, not in a million years.
Do you really think, though, I think, this is my take on it, yes, the animal activists were a problem, but I'm not sure that's what drove the circus out. I just think it's a different type of entertainment today that maybe the business practice, it's a business failure. It's not the failure of, that's my take on it.
Well, also, you know, what happens in corporations, the first generation kind of starts it and runs it in a certain way. I mean, like, for instance, look at Macy's. Macy's is a wonderful department store and all that. So now you come in a second generation or a third generation who aren't necessarily the children, but, you know, it's a whole different kind of mentality. No, I'll agree to that because, with all due respect to my former employers, it was run by some pretty stodgy old men for many years. Yeah. And now well, it's not run anymore, but now it's run by a couple of teeny boppers who are nice kids. Probably in their 40s now, but I'm still calling them kids. Yeah, but the thing about the animals is just a blatant lie for a couple of reasons. First of all, the relationship between the keepers and the animals, it's the same nonsense you hear about the Central Park horses. Right. I mean, they're or a cop and his horse. Yeah, I mean, that would be like you found a state trooper who mistreats his horse. It's just not true. So I just guess I'm a disgruntled unemployed person, and I want reparations.
Okay, I think you deserve it, Peter. You totally deserve it.
Right. Everybody who's listening now who has a pet, you got to send me money.
So you're riding on the subway, and this has happened to me before. It happened to me when we were at Disney a few years back, and you're on the monorail, and a pregnant woman gets on board, and you immediately get up and give her your seat. Even, you know, I'm going to tell you, even if it's a woman or an older woman, I do the same thing. What's happening on the subways?
I mean, what am I here to dispel all the world's lies?
Let's go. Let's get him in.
It's not true. The city has now come out with a cockamamie idea that a pregnant lady is going to wear a badge indicating that she's pregnant. Oh, well, that's nice. There's other ways to find that out, too. Because supposedly, according to the media or whoever started this whole story, or maybe it's, maybe de Blasio's brother-in-law must make the buttons or something. That also is not true. And I got to tell you something. What never ceases to amaze me when I'm in the subway, and yes, I do ride the subway, some of the worst-looking, horrible people who you think are like Al Capone's mobsters, gangsters, junkies, drug addicts, will get up and give their seats. Yeah. I mean, it's like an automatic reaction. So it's just not true, folks, and you can prove that by coming with me, and we'll take the subway to the unemployment office.
We should get we should do a social experiment and get a woman and put one of those pregnant things they put on.
Yeah, the belly.
And have them get on, go to a bus station or go somewhere and see, would people stand up?
Get up.
I would hope they'll get up. I think they will.
No, they do. It's not. I mean, I'm going to be very adamant about it, and I'm wagging my finger at you right now. Yeah. People do get up.
Hey, old lady.
You know, the Martians are getting... If the Martians are reading our newspapers and watching our television, they're getting a very bad impression of mankind. I mean, you know for a fact that everybody cheats on their income tax. You know for a fact that everybody cheats on their wife. You know that.
All right, listen, quickly before you go, I have to hear the Tom Hanks story.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it was kind of surprising, but I guess people are real people. There was a car parked on his block because he lives in New York City, and he started seeing that there were parking tickets on it every day, and the car was still there. So he did something where he tweeted saying, "Hey, mister, get your car off the block, pay the tickets, this, that, and the other thing." And I guess he must have done it on the police department's Twitter account. You know how you reply or something?
Yeah.
And the cops came around. I don't think they realized it was Tom Hanks who was doing it.
He did sign it.
They went into it, and now the guy paid all the tickets.
He did sign it Hanks, I think is how he... or maybe Sully.
We all know what his moniker is.
Yeah. What is it?
Hanks.
Hanks, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
See, it's proof. It's proof. Had he signed Sully or Forrest Gump, people would have known. That's what I think. Manansky.
Yes, I just had a caller ask, are you related to Joe Franklin, who they identified as the longest-running or oldest personality in...
I am Joe Franklin. Why don't people understand that?
Who is Joe Franklin?
And I'm 106 years old. No, but Joe Franklin, and everybody, after the show is over, don't interrupt Mr. Keeler, but after the show is over, go to Google and look up Joe Franklin. A fascinating influence that he had on the radio business. Unbelievable.
Right.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Keeler probably wouldn't be working today if it wasn't for Joe Franklin.
And
I mean, that whole kind of acting and, occupation.
Got it. All right, well, I'm going to Google that right now, Peter. I'm all over it. And by the way, Google the best tour in New York City, and only one man pops up. His name is Peter Franklin, not Joe Franklin. It's the Gabby Cabby. The best tour in New York City. Peter, as always, you're on the money. Thanks, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okie dokie. Bye-bye.
All right, Peter Franklin, who, by the way, I don't know if you know this, when we talk to him, he's a real cabbie. I mean, he's oftentimes in the garage.